following the 6 ships of the Caldwell class and being optimized for mass production, the Wickes class destroyers and the follow-on Clemson class destroyers became the epitome of the flush deck four-piper design. There were 111 Wickes class ships built, and then following 156 of the Clemson class. Wickes herself was laid down in June of 1917, commissioned 364 days later on 25 June 1918, and unlike most of the Wickes and Clemson class ships, she actually was completed in time to see wartime service in the Atlantic during World War One. Following World War One, she would be placed in reserve and out of commission several times and eventually be brought back into service several times. The beginning of the war found the Wickes and several other destroyers being used as part of the Neutrality Patrol, primarily guarding the entrances to the Caribbean, though there are also operations off the Atlantic coast. As the British Royal Navy faced a severe shortage of destroyers in 1940, the Destroyers for Bases deal was struck. The U.S. would be granted 99-year leases on various British possessions, primarily in the Western Hemisphere, and in return they would receive 50 U.S. destroyers, mostly of the Caldwell, Wickes, and Clemson classes. USS Wickes herself was decommissioned and transferred to the Royal Navy in 1940. She would be renamed I think she was transferred in 1941. She would be renamed HMS Montgomery as a town class destroyer, and she would see significant wartime use, but not any real combat. Most of the Wickes and Clemsons were rather worn out by the middle of the war, and the Royal Navy was never particularly happy with them. And so Wickes herself, the Montgomery, was taken out of service by 1944 and then was scrapped just shortly before the end of the war because Britain still had a very strong need for scrap metal. Here in World Warships, she is, of course, the Tier 3 U.S. destroyer. She has, like most U.S. destroyers, a little bit of survivability than their Japanese counterparts, but still only 10,100 health points. Main armament 4 102mm 4-inch guns, firing range of 9.2 kilometers. Torpedoes. The Wickes were built with 2 sets of triple torpedo launchers on each side, and that was partly doctrinal because they wanted the ship to have the ability to execute multiple attacks, and it was partly because the U.S. torpedo launchers at the time would struggle if they were on the center line to get the torpedo to actually clear the gunwales and not strike the side of the ship. So here we have 4x3 21-inch torpedo tubes, range of 5 kilometers, speed of 56 knots. That's not especially good range, it's not especially good speed. Compared to the Japanese counterparts, yeah, it's mostly like a gunboat. That doesn't mean you cannot use your torpedoes to good effect in the game. It just means that you have to be sneaky and wily and cagey and often lucky. Air defense, 2 50 caliber machine guns, 1 3-inch gun. Just leave your anti-aircraft guns turned off and, pray for concealment. That's why you have a smoke screen. Maximum speed 34 knots. You can boost that with signal flags. And concealment, you have a detection range on the surface of 6.7 kilometers. And when we were talking about torpedoes, remember 5 kilometers on the torpedo, so at a minimum you're going to be detected for 1.7 kilometers before you can be within range to actually effectively attack. Detection range by air 3.1 kilometers. Like I say, leave your anti-aircraft guns turned off, use your speed and stealth for protection there. All in all, not a bad little ship in the game. Now that we have various other destroyer lines out, such as the Russians, it is a little bit harder to play, but it's not impossible. So we took our Wicks out onto the islands map in a Tier 3, Tier 2 battle this morning. And we're going to go charging into sea and try and grab the capture point. We're going to go ahead and use our speed boost. We're smoking along, what are we doing? We're pushing up towards 37 knots. Obviously, with 4 destroyers on the enemy team, there's probably going to be a fight for it. Those shells coming in, I think, I wasn't detected. I think somebody just firing at random, which, unfortunately for them, gave their position away. We'll go ahead and launch. There's no real chance of anything happening with these, but you never know. You get lucky once in a while. We are detected. That means there's a cruiser or a destroyer somewhere in sight, so we're going to go ahead and pop smoke and slow down. And while we're in the smoke, laying the screen, we're going to get some rounds out, start collecting some damage here. They're just shooting into the smoke. They're not really getting a good shot at us. But that destroyer is very close. We'll go ahead and... no. Yeah. We're not capturing the point anymore. Somebody else is in here with us. And because we saw that destroyer, there's a very good chance he launched torpedoes into the smoke at us. There they are. He spread them to cover as much of the smoke screen as he can. But we scooted out of the way of those. Slow down to stay within the smoke screen. Keep an eye out for him. And it's going to get exciting here in a minute. We're going to back up just a little bit. Want to stay in the smoke screen, see what we can shoot at. Getting a little frustrated because we're not capping. And that's why, because there's an enemy destroyer right there. And we're going to launch torps at him. One narrow spread. And one wide spread. Pull it back a little bit to account for his turn, dodge his torps, and get the guns on him. We get one into him, check, look, it's going to be close, dodging his torpedoes, take a shot, do a little bit more damage, maneuver just a little bit to make sure that last torp there doesn't hit us. There we go, we're clear. Enemy's badly damaged, and we're going to polish him off. That's one. Yeah, dodge that torp and try and get back and see what else we can do. Obviously, significant fight going for going for C. So far, we've lost a cruiser. They've lost 2 destroyers. There's another cruiser. Take some shots at him. I think the friendly is going to try and torpedo him. I'm going to launch a wide spread of torps at the what is that? A Caledon. British Tier 3 light cruiser. I'm still partly screened by my smoke. No, it's going away. I try to launch a second spread at the Caledon, and rather fortuitously, that spread of torpedoes is going right at that enemy destroyer that just popped up. I believe that's an enemy Wicks, my counterpart over there, so he's toast. Devastating strike, that's 2. Got a St. Louis coming up behind me. Does a lot of damage to me. Well, no problem. We'll go ahead and launch torpedoes at him as well. And since we're here, guns are pointed at him, we'll start shooting at him. He's very low health. In fact, our torpedoes aren't even going to get there because we're going to kill him with gunfire. But in the meantime, we lost over half our health to the St. Louis. Take a quick breather, take a look at the map. There's nobody on the enemy team over here by sea. We've lost 2 cruisers, they've lost 3 destroyers and 2 cruisers, so we're well ahead here. So, my game plan is, get into sea and cap. And in the meantime, I want to try and minimize my exposure to anybody in B. All my consumables are on cooldown. My repair party is down, my smoke screen is down, my speed boost is down, and I'm at less than half health. So, I'm not really in a mood for getting into the brawl. And besides, it's a destroyer. What do? You cap. Always be capping. Still, I'm not adverse to getting into the fight. I just don't want to get into an unfair fight and get smoked for no good reason. All these cruisers are very, very capable of blowing me out of the water in very short notice. In fact, there's what I don't want to see is myself broadside on to a cruiser. He's slightly out of range, but we'll go ahead and launch torpedoes. You never know if he would be dumb enough to close the range. We'll open fire. Since we're detected anyway, we might as well shoot at him. We're in the capture zone. We're starting to capture. The enemy gets blown out of the water by a friendly cruiser. So, yay team. In the meantime, we'll just duck behind this island, take a look. The important thing is we're capturing the area, get a lot of base XP by capturing an area. And I do believe, yes, we're all alone here, so that means we're going to get all the capture points, lots and lots of XP. Take a look as we come around this island, slightly startled to see the enemy Weymouth, this light cruiser, Royal Navy light cruiser. I believe that's the Tier 2. However, we have him detected, and he has not detected us. So we're going to go ahead and launch, based on the predictor, where will he turn up? We're going to turn, bring our other side of the tubes clear. We're going to lay down our smoke screen in case we don't kill him with the torpedoes, and we're going to launch a follow-up torpedo attack. We want the smoke screen there so we can hide in the smoke and use our guns. The enemy is very surprised to see us popping in and out of the smoke here and doesn't even react to our torpedoes. So that ends badly for him. He just didn't maneuver at all, even when he spotted the torpedoes. So that's 4. And in the meantime, all but 2 enemy ships have been destroyed. And the only one near me is the Kolberg over there on the far western side of the map. And I am screened from him by the smoke screen. And I decide I'm going to go and kill him. I'm going to go charging straight at him. I'm still screened by the smoke. I'll get a couple of shots off here. He's maneuvering. He knows. He's got to know there's a destroyer out here. Nope. Terrible gunnery. How did I miss? All right, well, when we pop out of the smoke and we use our speed boost here, we're trying to close the range as much as we can. We're in a very tight bow-on aspect. He's well within torpedo range already, but we want to keep closing the range. I do not want to give this guy a chance to maneuver and miss my torpedoes. I will not have a chance to survive that. Use the repairability, launch one spread, wait a second, check for his maneuver, launch the second spread, and that's the Kraken unleashed. End of the game. So, you gotta be sneaky. You'll notice I snuck right around the island, close range, and nuked that Weymouth. That's how you gotta drive a U.S. destroyer. 267,000 credits, 45,000 damage, 5 sunks, Kraken, devastating strike, even snuck in a Citadel of high explosive. 1,400 base XP, top of the team, with the 5 kills. Overall, I mean, if you look closely in the in-game chatter during the game, there was somebody who said, well, it's a good thing this wasn't a slaughter. Yeah, we only lost 3. And you'll notice I did real damage to all these ships. I did not ninja a single kill here. And, of course, most of my damage was actually done by the torpedoes, but I still did 7,600 damage with high explosive gunfire. 262,000 credits taken at home. 8,712 XP, 436 free XP. That's mostly as a result of first one of the day, premium account, the Soul of the Ocean flag. Hope you enjoyed this one. We'll catch you soon.